Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 4 of the Peachimaris Overwatch tournament. Tonight, our match for you is going to be '07 Dubnium versus Post University. I am BranbleBush, and I am joined here by Thunderstorm. Thunderstorm, are you ready for tonight?
I am ready as I can ever be. I'm hyped to see some good Overwatch. Both teams look very strong, actually. I'm hyped to see how these guys are going to play. Overall, it's going to be interesting to see what compositions they're going to play and how it's going to go. But yeah, let's get straight into it, I say.
Yep, we'll get right into it. We are going to be starting on Lijiang Tower for our first map, a fan favorite in the Overwatch community. A very interesting map because you can see pretty much any composition that you can think of throughout the entirety of the map. However, each individual round on the map is going to be better suited for different compositions. So you could see dive on one, brawl on another. There's no limit to what you can expect, and honestly, you kind of can't expect anything on a map such as Lijiang Tower because there's just anything can happen.
Especially at this point, like the map we're currently looking at, there can be so many compositions played. Overall, you can see a Fada here, you can see the Widowmaker here, you can see both a Brawl setup and a Dive setup. Even like the ball can come out for like those boop kills on the sides. But let's see how it's going to go as both teams are getting ready and set up to run into this.
Yes, Night Market, a very favored map to run maps such as a Symmetra into the window of the point, which it looks like '07 is going to be running. Post coming out with that Pharah, that's going to be a little bit of an interesting one. We've got, there it is, the Symmetra teleporter sending the team up into the window. '07 already going to be establishing a foothold on the point. A little bit of a brawl engagement happening in the doorways, but Post are going to have their work cut out for them if they're going to try to get into that point. The Immortality Field is going to be forced out from Super Matt, and he gets slept, and as the lamp goes down, so does he. Gecko charging in, getting charged in by Drew. However, they manage to take down Drew before he gets any real damage done onto Gecko. The Sim turret's putting in the work on that Pharah. The point is going to unlock for '07, and they're going to push the remaining members of Post into a full retreat.
And overall, it was pretty much they forced the Immortality Field, and with the Immortality Field gone, the charge comes in, but it wasn't really the best charge weapon as he went completely into the enemy team and pretty much died in an instant. But forcing that Immortality Field so early was a very good thing.
Oh, and a big Earth Shatter from Drew. His charge, however, doesn't get any value. He misses all of his targets, gets nanoed, and it was for naught as they are going to take him down, only losing Matt in the process. keegsmonswag throwing in the self-destruct to displace the team, and he also manages to find a pick onto Mydudesa. Now, the sound barrier is going to be dropped by ImNotDatGood, giving his team the shielding they need to continue to hold the point and push Post back into another retreat. A good ultimate usage there from the supports of '07.
And it's a very good D.Va bomb actually used there, as it creates some space for the team to just establish their foothold again. And now actually, ball's gonna be used.
That wall comes down, tries to isolate some of the members, almost results in DeadlyDrew being taken down. However, he gets taken down not long after. Swan getting 2 with that barrage and then falling to the turrets. They're not really going to find any more value with that. I mean, we've got Flirty kind of, as his name says, flirting on the side of the point, but he's just going to fall back and regroup with his team. The Maywalls from Kittycatpaw are just obnoxiously good if you're a member of '07, and disgustingly awful if you're a member of Post. So getting all the value that he needs there. The Nano Tac Visor coming out from Post, getting eaten up a little bit by the D.Va. Big Earth Shadow laying out 2, and then the self-destruct takes down the Immortality Field. The Tac Visor also finding 2. Oh no, Matt getting blown off of the map with that self-destruct as overtime hits. But Post are going to have a very clean engagement, take the point, and start ticking up their own progress.
Well, but overall, if you look at the current ult economy, this was a very expensive fight. As on one side, you still have 4 ults ready to go, as well as a D.Va Wolf coming up. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can actually hold on to the point with pretty much no ults available.
Yeah, they do manage to do a pretty good job right there, breaking down the Symmetra teleporter and eliminating Gecko in the process. So a little bit of ult charge in the pocket of Post, but not enough to really secure anything. They're trying to reset up for the Symmetra teleporter. They do manage to get it down, and all the team goes through except for DatGood, who gets slept out, isolated from the team, so they only have Matt on point. And a devastating anti-grenade is going to hit the entire team and cost Matt his life. DatGood finally makes it up onto the point. That Symmetra wall is doing great of denying a lot of damage. Self-destruct goes out from keegsmonswag. However, they take him down before he gets back in the mech. Kittycat with a Mei wall and the ice block doing what he can to stall out as much as he can. Valiant effort. The sound barrier gets dropped to give him and DatGood the shielding that they need to stall out and get their team back on point. FrOsTy being a little frosty and getting frozen, but he does survive. And with Super Matt throwing the immortality field, it's a valiant effort. That's not going to work. Gecko trying to get to the point he's not going to make it, gets charged out. They are just trickling in. 07 either needs to make something happen or fall back, because right now they are feeding ult charge into Post.
Exactly, and if you look at the ult economy now, they somehow managed to hold onto the point after there's a lot of ultimates committed. And now on the other side though, you're going to be looking at a Shatter, a Bomb, and a Visor coming up. Visor, maybe not a Nano-Visor so soon, but there's still a Mercy that can damage boost, so that's going to be an interesting thing to see.
Yep, there's the Earth Shatter, finds keegsmonswag, and they charge in. The immortality field saves him and costs Drew his life. So now they're going to throw the Amplification Matrix, just put a little bit of extra damage out, possibly just zone out the members of Post. The Mei wall is going to be enough to get them in, but it's not going to prevent Kittycat from being eliminated. They do get the trade onto Swan and Wolf, so the pharmacy is down. 07 have a chance to move in. Here comes the Visor from Flirty, and he does get Nano. They were able to build that up. Drew's Shatter, not really going to find anything. Gecko pushing in with his team. They get the eliminations that they need so far. DatGood getting knocked off of the map by FrOsTy. There's the DMAC onto FrOsTy. However, the revenge is going to roll through. Is it going to be enough? Are they going to be able to contest it? The pharmacy makes it back. It's high noon. It's actually not. You forgot about daylight savings time, Slowpoke. You were a little behind. Ablindswan with a barrage onto Matt. However, he gets taken down. That Mei wall just throwing Drew off of the map. That was absolutely disgusting, Kittycat. FrOsTy is now going to throw himself onto the point, try and stagger out, buy as much time as he can for his team to make it back. He does manage to stay in the mech for quite a long time. They finally take him out of the mech, get that elimination onto him. The Valkyrie from Wolf is going to let him get onto the point and also do what he can to contest it. But it's not going to be long before they get the elimination onto him. That res was a valiant effort. The monkey now from DeadlyDrew, he's going to jump in. He loses his life almost immediately, and now it's just a cleanup fest. And round one is going the way of 07.
And if you look at the ults still available, it seems like they were rather confident in being able to win that fight without committing ults, as they keep on to the Lucio beat, even though not using it at all in that fight. So they must have been pretty much very confident, and their comms must have been very clear. Don't use the beat, just play safe, stick to point, and well, they did that. And pretty much only the stragglers came in and got bursted down in an instant, so the target focus was there as well. And yeah.
Yeah, their target focus was absolutely on point. They had everything they need to make sure that these fights were uneven as possible. And so now heading over onto Gardens, we're seeing a bit of a dive composition from 07, a little bit. The Cowboy's an interesting mix-up in there, but otherwise your standard brawl with a Pharah comp on the side of Post. So they're pushing over to the little spire right there, trying to have a little bit of a brawl. Oh, a quick early sleep onto Mydudesa, and that is going to just open things up for Post. The Sombra hat comes through onto Wildwolf, but Gecko gets dangerously low and then taken down. Slowpoke onto the Reaper now, so they have that shadow dive, a lot of damage to come through, but I mean, Post just have the man advantage here that they need. Oh, the concussive blast sends Slowpoke into the drink. So now a little bit of a cleanup, and Post is going to take the first control point of Gardens.
And the highlight of that, of course, is Mydudesa just hitting that sleep when the Lucio tries to go for that poop on the bridge. Hitting the sleep, instantly costing the Lucio his life. And with that, pretty much already in a 5v6 fight. And they managed to make it count.
Yeah, 07 was definitely hurting when they lost that Lucio, so now they're going to be wrapping around to the white room. They don't want to contest with that Pharah, risking any more environmental eliminations. A little bit of a Slowpoke engagement. Flirty manages to find Kittycatpaw as the barrage comes out from Swan. much more zoning than anything else. Doesn't really find any eliminations, let alone any damage. So now the Coalescence comes out from Matt, giving his team the healing that they need to push in hard. Gecko gets hit with that pin, but the Coalescence is going to put him right back up. Slowpoke gets hit with that anti-grenade, but he does get out. Nano Visor is going to be denied. Actually, it was not a Nano Visor, it was a Nano Farah, but still denied as she gets taken down from Slowpoke. The Tac Visor also going down. He's going to want that back. 07 flipping the point over after about almost 60% for Post. They're going to have to hold on tight here.
And they actually managed to win that fight very cleanly without pretty much using any ults. Even though they went in with the Moira ult, which is a very easy chargeable ult.
Oh, that's
that
not
is
good.
Not good. Yeah. And well, overall, no, a bunch of.
Oh no, a big Shatter lays out 3, takes down Slowpoke, but a 3-man EMP is going to cost Post 2 of their members. They're getting those eliminations back though, putting some damage in. Ablindswan manages to take down Keeg before he remechs off the tail end of that self-destruct. And with that brawl happening in the white room, there's no one that can touch the point, so it does flip back over to Post. DatGood realizes he's going to be cooked, so he just stands still, but they start toying with their food. Come on, guys, put him out of his misery.
Well, overall, I'm not very sure about if the EMP really get value. The Shatter comes in, and the Shatter hits a lot of people right there. But they use the EMP, and it's already too late. The EMP doesn't get any value as nobody really dies to it, even though the primer comes through. But there's not really a lot of value found by their ults there, so maybe that was just a misdecision, maybe miscommunications. Well, we will see.
There's another Coalescence to get the team in. Death Blossom rolls through, finds 2. A barrage, however, gets denied. Keeg eating it and taking Swan out of the sky. Overtime timer hits, but that's okay, because 07 is back in control.
Well, with that, there's been, again, a bunch of ults used, but Slowpoke being able to just go onto that flank, getting 2, was very big, and Keeg actually found another 3 picks in that fight. After denying the Farah damage from that barrage, just managed to get some cleanup damage through as well, and actually gets a free K with that.
Trying to put in a lot of damage from that back line, however, it's not going to be enough to split the attention of 07 as they burn down Drew, with FrOsTy falling right behind him. So now, taking Swan out of the sky, it's a little bit of a cleanup, and the supports of Post, actually the Ana and Soldier, are going to have to soft reset, stay alive, and wait for the rest of their team to get back.
And right there, I think what was the problem, the Rhine of DeadlyDrew managed to like push towards that area where you can get straight to the point, but at the same time they went without the Ana, so they got pushed.
Oh, a big grab, but DatGood is ready to counter with the sound barrier. Tac visors come out from both teams. Kittycatpaw finding the value, even though Flirty was the one who got nanoed and had the higher damage output. Supermat's Coalescence really put in the work there, and with Post falling, map 1 is going to go the way of 07 Dubnium.
Well, this was very interesting. It's overall, I believe it's pretty much not even the ult management which gave them the win there. It was pretty much just how they played it, giving the space and engaging aggressively when they had to.
And look at that, they managed to go in quite hard a multitude of times. The ultimate usage, the synergy of this team really showing tonight. The bounce back for Post is going to be, how should we say this? An uphill battle from here.
Well, they're down 1 map, so of course it's going to be difficult for them to just get themselves into position where they're going to be able to just tie this up. But at the same time, still, it's going to be difficult for them because overall they have been performing well, but 07 Dubnium just makes it work better, you could say. Post University is doing a great job at like giving space, but they're not moving in together as like a full unit. They're often moving in slightly staggered with like the Ana missing or somebody else missing. But that still means as 07 Dubnium plays together as a cohesive unit and gets in there aggressively when they see that somebody's missing on the enemy team to just push them and pushes them down. And with that, they're pretty much just, they got like 2 or 3 fights in there where they managed to like catch 3 people off guard by rushing them down with 5. And that's very well played by them.
Absolutely. Like sharks smelling blood in the water, they realized a member was missing and just jumped in. It capitalized on every opportunity that they had, and I gotta say, they made it work for them.
They
And
did. They did 100%.
so it looks like we are going to be going to Temple of Anubis for our next map. And that, a 2-point CP, not really enjoyed by the Overwatch community. Let's just be real here. It's being taken out of Overwatch 2 for a reason, but still a chance to see some interesting compositional plays. There's plenty of different dive and brawl compositions that you can use on these 2-point CP maps. And so the question is, who has the better strategy? Who is this 2-point CP map rather going to favor going into this?
Well, what I'm going to mention beforehand anyway, we're going to actually have a swap on the side of 07 Dubnium, which is going to be, I'm Not That Good is going to be subbed out for Rogue. So we're going to see if there's actually going to be any difference that they want to play with that. Maybe that I'm Not That Good is more of like a Lucio player. And for that note, they bring in Rogue as like the dedicated Baptiste, who knows really. But same time, teams are getting ready. And like you said, Temple of Anubis, we're going to be heading right there right now. And how can you say this? This is again another map where you can play pretty much everything. Overall, the preferred compositions are mostly like a double shield or a dive. You can play a Rein Zarya as well, but that's pretty much up to the teams themselves, how they want to play this. But let's see what the teams actually decide to do here.
Yep, there's no really set way to play 2-point CP, especially a 2-point CP as Temple of Anubis. The Rein Zarya, double bubble, dive, full dive, shadow dive, there's no limitation. The only thing you can really kind of bet on is defensively, we're probably going to see the double shield. And it looks like that is, in fact, what 07 is going to be rolling out with. That Sigma Orisa, very good synergy on this map. The Torbjorn, no surprise there. Plenty of opportunities for that turret to put in an insane amount of work. Hanzo, you love the shield break for the Hanzo, and the support line of Zenyatta Baptiste, just devastating. The amount of damage that you're going to get there, wonderful. And then as we move over to look at the attackers inside the Merglurglurglur, we've got a Rein Zarya with a Pharah. I mean, it seems to be their bread and butter. They're tried and true, and if you don't like the way I pronounce the name of that attacker spawn, I'm sorry. That's just Blizzard's Murloc nomenclature.
That reminds me of a Sandcrawler from Star Wars for some reason.
You know what? I see it. I love it. Star Wars, absolutely wonderful. Small poke engagement here. The Pharah from Ablindswan trying to put in a bunch of damage. Definitely doing a good job of breaking down the double shield composition, putting in a lot of damage there. Slowpoke getting brought dangerously low before they get that elimination. Kittycatpaw also dangerously low. They do manage to heal him up. The Halt Orb, almost takes down Wildwolf, but the Storm Arrow is going to eliminate Ablindswan, and the Pharmacy does fall. So now 07, they don't really have to worry too much at this moment. They're on a 5v4. They are in complete control of this defense, but Post is moving up into that Mega Health Pack room, and Flirty is dropping down to the point, so that's progress going to be ticking up, and now Slowpoke coming back from spawn is going to contest him. DeadlyDrew falls to the Zenyatta, and Flirty eliminates Slowpoke, so now he's still picking up that tick progress. On 07, wow, they just collapse on him. A team kill, and they deny any permanent progress of that push.
Well, overall, it was a very good rotation on the side here of Post University. But same time, though, we have Dubnium playing this very well. They give them the space, and once they know they have the enough picks to come through, they just start pushing that more brawly style of comp with the double shield and manage to actually take care of them very well.
Dragon Strike comes out from Kittycatpaw, and it takes down Mydudesa, who got trapped in that mini health pack room. Ablindswan answers back, though, with the elimination on the Baptiste, so both teams missing their main healing output. So you have to think 07 might want to maybe back up a little bit, try to hold their own, but Rogue says, nope, we'll just take them down. Nobody needs healing if the other team is dead. And then the eliminations are just rolling through for 07. Post has Flirty trapped in the back lines. He's going to do what he can to try to get out, hiding out in that mega room. And there's the Sigma. Big accretion to the face, and it won't be long before Flirty is respawning.
Well, overall, I am not too sure really if the trance by Rogue was really needed. Especially with the Farah now coming up with that barrage, potentially looking at a nano barrage here. And there's not going to be much they're going to be able to do about that without the trance. Maybe the motility, well, never mind.
Don't need to worry about a barrage if there's no Farah in the sky. They do have the res ready on cooldown, so you gotta wonder if they're gonna be trying for it. Looks like Wildwolf was looking for it, but he didn't find it, and it cost him his life as he takes an arrow to the noodle. You can't heal that, Angela. The Nanode Reinhardt is going in, though. They're committing with Drew. Big shatter, bigger grab. A lot of damage is rolling through. The Molten Core comes out as well, but Slowpoke finding 3. Is that going to be enough to slow them down and stop them? He's a one-man army against the world. Oh, elimination of the Swan. Can he do it? Slowpoke single-handedly stopping that push. Wow. Slowpoke proving he is a wonderful Pokemon to have on your team, and then he falls to FrOsTy, and that's going to be the point, going the way of Post University.
What just happened?
What just happened? 07's pushing back in. They're going to commit. Here comes the Flux. The barrage comes out from Swan, takes down 2. Big damage onto FrOsTy. They're Valking with Wildwolf. They are committing to this fight. And they do take point B after a roller coaster of a push.
This was very interesting to look at. Of course, Slowpoke doing a very amazing job there to defend that point. But what I'm not sure about is the team coming back in to use pretty much a lot of their ulti modes being used. A research charger got used, which I don't think was actually a very good choice there. But at the same time, well,
I mean, they're getting eliminations. Trading keegsmonswag out. And it looks like they might still try to commit to this. They do have the numbers here, and now the turret's down, so if they have an opportunity to push in, this is it. Really looking to find another elimination, though, to try to get even pushed in a little further. Fire Strike gets eaten up by keegsmonswag's kinetic grasp, so that's going to charge up the shielding. Big pin is prevented by the Immortality Field and the Transcendence. Earth Shatter gets blocked, but it does find 2, so not completely blocked. Another Molten Core being thrown through the Amplification Matrix with a barrage following right behind it. FrOsTy and Flirty are going to be ticking up the point progress. Wildwolf jumping on as well. Mydudesa joining the mix. And it looks like they will be capping point B. It's just, yep, a little bit of a trickle here. The Lucio doing what he can with Rogue. 3 members of 07 coming back. But the Grav is going to actually not really find any value because you can just fade out with Moira armor up with Orisa. Gecko drops the bongo drum. keegsmonswag does find an elimination of his own. He finds 2. They managed to stop the push at 97%.
And you have to give credit to Rogue there, as Rogue is actually able to boop 2 people off the point, denying the faster cap as there's only 2 people and not 4 on the point. And after that, it's just pretty much the respawns come in and they just are able to use their ultimate if they still have available to get the value they needed, with Research Charger being used as well. And they just managed to make it work.
Yeah, showing an amazing amount of synergy, pulling out clutch when they need to. So now, Post going in with nothing more than their support ultimates, maybe Attack Visor coming online. The only thing 07 have to answer with is that Coalescence. Another Nanode Reinhardt as the Visor comes out. A big anti-grenade is going to deny healing from most, if not all of 07. They will just fall like dominoes. Rogue throwing those Zenyatta orbs valiantly, trying to do what he can, but Flirty takes him down. And with 38 seconds left, Post will complete their attack on Temple of Anubis.
Phew. Well, this was really interesting. Not going to lie. Overall, like, you would expect when there's 4 or 5 people dying on one side that the first point's already over. But seeing as Slowpoke's top just went in and went ham on everybody, That's the highlight of this match for me. Not going to lie.
That's gonna be hard to top. Somebody call the Houston Outlaws because they got a Torbjorn right here to replace Jake. I'm
Well,
kidding.
Jake's on
We
support
love
now
Jake.
anyway.
Hey, exactly. We love Jake. Jake's on support, so you need a new Torbjorn. Look no further, right here. So now 07 on their attack, teasing a double bubble. But Post on the other side, they're coming out. Ryan Zarya, Flirty still on that soldier, getting those legs absolutely working out. But Swan on the Junkrat, a case of an ugly duckling if I ever saw one, a Junkrat named Swan.
Do not insult the man just because his hair is burning. What is the problem over there?
I
He's hard.
I do no such thing. I am an impartial caster. I calls it like I sees it, folks. And now, in 5 seconds, the doors to the McGlurgle will open, and we'll have ourselves a second push with 07 coming out. Double bubble, a bit dive heavy. Fire Strike goes wide, doesn't really find any value, so they're going to be pushing in a little slow. Oh no, Flirty and Blind Swan, I almost said the Junkrat, because he is a Junkrat, but they put the damage into Gecko. Keeg gets hit with an anti-grenade, but they get the res up, put the Gecko back. He dives in, gets shield bashed, and Kittycatpaw sticky grenades get a lot of value, eliminating Wildwolf, so the only healer they have left is Mydudesa, and his healing grenade from Ana, putting a lot of burst healing out on his team. Gecko dives in and eliminates Flirty, and without that heal pad, they now have single target healing. Except for that biotic grenade, which he seems to be throwing on cooldown. DeadlyDrew no longer has any shielding, so he's swinging for the fences, but they will take his baseball bat and take his life as well. FrOsTy falls in the mini health pack room. It looks like they might be trying to recontest. Flirty teasing the recontest. Nope, it is going to be point A. Flirty gets hit with a sleep dart. Oh no, they're going to let that ride as long as they can. And it looks like they did take him down fast enough for him to get fast spawn. So that's lucky for him. A swap from FrOsTy.
The double bubble setup is working up very well in their favor. The only time because Gecko got bursted down at the start was pretty much he ran into the trap. So the trap was just ready for him and they bursted it down in an instant. But the second they got it rolling, it was done.
Yeah, and they're starting to get rolling here on point B, but they're in fact being rolled by Post University, losing only one of Mydudesa in the process, but they push that fight back. Oh, and then there's Slowpoke. That's another pick. They're just going to be waiting for that respawn.
What we have to point out is again that Keeks is right there, able to keep his high charge while rotating out. So having a high charge Zarya still in the mix is going to cause problems, probably because as well the 91% ult charge. This seems like everybody's just stacking up their ults just to get ready for their push.
Yeah,
we
they
could
do.
potentially.
Oh! Cataclysmic Earth Shatter laying out most of Post University. Or of 07 rather. And then the duplicate now lays down the members of Post. Look at that. Slowpoke's pulse bomb gets eaten. A second Earth Shatter comes through from Kittycatpaw. Team kill. That's it. The point is going to be capped, and 07 have a stellar time bank to work with. Flirty is diving on point with that Tracer. DeadlyDrew gets eliminated immediately. Wildwolf popping the rally to give his team, the remaining teammates, some armor to get in there, but Kittycatpaw's Echo putting in the damage. Rogue falls, so they don't have that one bit of healing. The anti-grenade comes through, though. Mydudesa is no longer able to keep himself up. This is turning into an all-out brawl on the point. Supermat falls, and now 07 losing another point of healing. Keeg, Gecko go down. 07, they don't manage to secure the point. They will lose this push, go back to spawn, but still have an amazing time bank to work with, and they only need one tick left.
And during that fight, that actually Echo and Tracer got a lot of ult charge. We're looking at Kittycatpaw here with that 86%, and we're probably going to be looking at another like budget goat, you could call it. With the Ryan copy, well actually never mind, not anymore, but the double Winston is dangerous very much as well. If they copy the Winston and dive with the double Winston setup there, that's going to be dangerous to deal with.
You land on an Ana with that, it's not going to happen. A little bit of a tickle fight happening up on that little podium. The Winstons just teasing each other with those Tesla cannons. FrOsTy trying to take the pharmacy out of the sky as the fight moves to point. There's the double Winston you hinted at. Self-destruct comes out from FrOsTy. destroys that Winston bubble, but it doesn't find any eliminations. Ablindswan throwing Molten Core over the point, but he gets taken down by Kittycatpaw's Primal Rage, and then Wildwolf falling as well. Kittycatpaw removing the Lindholm family from the fight. That Torbjorn turret, however, is deadly up on that podium, putting in all the damage that it needs to put in. Host University holding on yet again, and then Keegs getting nanoed, but he's antied, so he's not going to get that healing. They do lose that high charge Zarya during that fight.
And this reminds me a lot of the same that just happened previously. It was a very good time back at the start as they pushed in and got to like 96%, I think it was. And then they pretty much had to struggle down to the 0.38 second marker. And it's looking the same currently. The teams is holding on to point, they managed to keep it alive, they managed to just not be punished or die quickly. And now it's pretty much just going to be another fight coming up soon.
Yeah, 07 gonna have to make something happen if they want to finish with a better time bank than Post. However, no matter what, when they finish, Post will be gaining time. Rally, Nano, and Valkyrie come out. Keegs throws the grab. Pulse Bomb rolls in and finds two, and the team that comes through onto FrOsTy. 07 getting all the eliminations that they need. They might be able to poke it away right here. There it is. DeadlyDrew, Flirty fall. They do capture the point. They gain a little bit of a time bank back because they finished with under 2 minutes, so Post is going to go up to 1 minute in their time bank, but we are hitting extra innings here on Temple of Anubis.
Whoa. And with that, we're gonna be heading into halftime here after Anubis. But let's see how this is going to go with 2 minutes on one side as well as on 1 minute on the other. So what do you expect from this?
Honestly, I expect 07 to mount an insurmountable defense and then have a blistering attack speed. Because if there's one thing they've proven, they can own this map. They can dominate this map. All they have to do is keep up their performance. They don't even have to try to do better. They just got to keep the marker where it's at, and they should come out on top.
Well, I have to agree with that. That double bubble setup they were running was working very well in their favor. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to be looking at the current new, the new setup coming out from here from Post University with actually the Reaper now rolling through and the Lucio. And
very burst damage heavy composition for sure.
It's again more of like a brawl type. It seems like they're enjoying their brawl.
They do seem more comfortable on the brawl, so we have to see how that's going to work going into this double bubble composition, or double shield rather, composition. They managed to make it over into the left room. Flirty hanging behind a little bit to put some extra damage, keep the attention. Ablindswan, however, immediately getting picked out. Drew tries to go for a cheeky pin to isolate the team and just slams into a fortified Orisa. That's going to cost you your life. I don't care who you are. Kittycatpaw's Storm Arrow just raining down damage into Post. They have one fight left to try and make something happen here.
And what happens there is that their rotation, it's a very good rotation, but they're not rotating as a team. As the Reaper goes in first, is not behind the Rhine, and gets pretty much immediately headshot by the Hanzo. And again, same problem.
You can't go in alone as a Reaper, not into the front lines. At least you gotta hit the back lines, Swan. DeadlyDrew charging the point just to get that overtime triggered, and trigger he does at the cost of his life with Flirty falling right behind him. That is it. 07 is certainly going to hold on full stop in extra innings. The win condition is set. A single capture tick as we move into round 4.
Round 3 complete.
This is going to be intense.
Score.
I'm interested to see if they will adapt anything. After the last round was pretty much a very heavily dominant double bubble setup from them on the side of 07 Dubnium. And this is going to be interesting to see, because now, will they adapt to that? Will they expect that double bubble, or will they just play the same stuff they did before? That's going to be the question now.
The adaptation is certainly what Overwatch is all about. Switching the heroes up to counter the enemy composition and or play style. And they have to try to make something work with that. 07 looks like they're teasing that double bubble again with a Genji. Ooh, I love seeing me some Cyborg Ninja. And now on the
Well,
defense, look at this, a Roadhog in my Overwatch tournament. Get that piggy out of here. But they're
Fact.
sticking with it. So that's going to be a very interesting play. I am actually real excited to see that. I love seeing me some Roadhogs, those hooks, the take a breather, and with the new buffs that came through where he distributes 25% less ultimate charge, like that's a lot of healing and support ultimate charge you can get off of him, and you're not going to be feeding into the ult charge of your enemy. So excited for that. Here we go. The door's open and the extra innings are about to end. Slow engagement here. The double bubble looking. There's Gecko diving in. He lands that Zarya bubble broken instantly, and it's going to cost him his life. So that's already going to put that push on a little bit of a hold, if not stop it completely. We do have a touch onto the point, though. Looks like it might have been Kittycatpaw with that tracer, but he has fallen back. Kind of just waiting out, trying to feel the field, waiting for Gecko to get back to the key. Keegs getting dangerously close to losing some health there. The shielding comes back online, though, keeping him up. And now, yeah, Kittycatpaw dancing around in that back line. They've got FrOsTy looking for him, trying to get that hook, get him out of position. Slowpoke getting targeted by that turret. It's putting in a lot of damage. All of the members of 07 dangerously low with 2 single target healers of a Mercy and an Ana. You're not going to be able to keep the team as healthy as you would like when they're all taking damage like that. And with Rogue going down, we have a minute left. That's 2-fight territory at best. 07 have to make something happen here.
Well, it seems like currently they're going a lot for like those ults, but at the same time, they are playing this very well currently. Now the Nano Winston's gonna come through though.
And they're going to answer it with the tactical visor from Flirty. Is going to be putting in a lot of damage. He manages to take Slowpoke out of the sky. Kittycatpaw falls to the turret. FrOsTy getting hit with that slap. Rogue putting Kittycatpaw back in the fight with a respawn. Mercy showing Tracer's not the only one who can rewind time. But the Molten Core is thrown all over the point. A lot of ultimates invested in that fight. 07 has 1 push left. They've got to make it happen, and they got to make it happen now.
And they're gonna have to make it happen in a 5v6. As the Zarya gets staggered very, very late.
10 seconds remaining.
May have misspoke earlier about that overtime counter. Do apologize about that. Got a little excited. Actually, I'm thinking about last round. Ignore what I just said. There's the Valkyrie and the Pulse Bomb coming out. No value from the Pulse Bomb. Tanks falling on both sides. The charge from DeadlyDrew doesn't find any value as Wildwolf throws up the rally, trying to save his Reinhardt, but the armor does not get to him fast enough. Grab comes through, stopping Wildwolf, but you're still in range of that rocket flail, Zarya, so you are going to be taken down. But Post getting their eliminations. There it is, the duplicate coming through on a Slowpoke, and then he is eliminated. A valiant effort, but we now have a draw on a Temple of Anubis. Oh no, Gecko trying to have a little bit of a spin to win strategy here, but it's just a little bit of a cleanup is all it's gonna take. There it is, Kittycatpaw falls. Keegsmonswag onto the Diva. DeadlyDrew just swinging for the fences with that hammer. Another visor coming out from Flirty, and now that's it. All she wrote. Round 2, draw. 07 still lead the series 1-2-0.
I'ma call you out on what's the so-called caster curse. After saying they're gonna have a very rapid attack. Well, it seemed like yeah.
I said they were going to have a rapid attack. I was expecting a rapid attack, I will say that. I was expecting it. But, yeah, I might have cast a curse at them there. My bad, 07. You guys can, you know, I'll send you my address later. You can come take my mailbox down or something.
Well,
so, a draw, a stellar defense from both teams, stonewall defense, wonderful attackers on both sides, Slowpoke with that absolutely world-ending performance on that Torbjorn, single-handedly letting his team head to the point to begin to get capture progress. Amazing. I'm going to need a little bit of time to process that. So we're going to go to a halftime break right now. Make sure you stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We've got some more Overwatch coming right after the break. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Peachimari's Week 4 matchup between 07 Dubnium and Post University. We are heading into King's Row for our hybrid map, a map chosen by Post University, and 07 Dubnium has chosen to defend on their first go here in King's Row. Thunder, what are you expecting to see here in good old England King's Row map type?
Well, let's hope not to see a deja vu of a Widowmaker taking care of an Omnic. Let's hope that there's not gonna be a Zen dying to a Widow. But no,
You break my
overall,
heart.
well, overall, it's gonna be interesting, especially because both teams have been pretty, how can you say, pretty equal so far. Especially seen on the draw now, which was very, very close. Both defenses were very good. One had 1 minute and pretty much defended it all the way. The other one had 2 minutes and defended it all the way. And now it's going to be pretty much, again, the difference in the heal comp which could make the difference. Because we have seen it, Deadly is often getting that nano. The Rhine with the nano was making them so much value. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here. Because overall, both teams have their factors that work for them. The question is, can the other team counter those factors to make it work for their side?
Yep, and it looks like they are prepared for the counter. FrOsTy falling early to Kittycatpaw. The Pharmacy actually getting pressured out by a Cowboy and a Hanzo. So that's a lot of damage that can go through. A lot of shield break. Oh, Gecko getting hit, but that charge pushed out of position. But DeadlyDrew is now alone in that hotel. They still managed to find that elimination, though. The immortality field is not going to be enough. So now, Post University is pushing onto the point, getting the eliminations that they need. Keeg falls. Slowpoke gets dangerously low, but he does get out alive, and I spoke too soon. There it is. Anti-grenade, removes supermat, anti-healing, anti-life. And now a little bit of a stall here from ImNotDatGood, but he will fall immediately. And at 3 minutes remaining, the cart unlocks. Post University begins the escort portion of our hybrid map.
And that is 100% one of those plays where it's high risk, high reward. The charge comes through, he hits the Rhine, makes him so low that once the Rhine just outsteps out of that immortality field for half a second, you have the Ana cleaning him up. With the Rhine being gone, all the sustainable side gone. There's no mercy in that position.
Oh, the amplification matrix comes out, but that's not going to protect you from an earth shatter. But you know what will? Firing through the thing and taking down the Reinhardt that shattered you. Supermat really doing his job as a support to not only heal his team, but protect his team. Protect and serve. He's taking it seriously. They push post back to spawn. And now a lot of ults to work with 07 Dub.
Both teams having a build of ults actually to work with now. As they're probably going to be looking at either DeadlyDrew getting that nano, or it's going to be the nano barrage coming through. But let's see how they're going to manage to do this.
DeadlyDrew, you called out a devastating earth shatter. Kittycatpaw's dragons finding 2. Ablindswan throws the barrage, but he only manages to find 1. And there's not much you can do when half your team is down. He takes Kittycatpaw down, but then Slowpoke the Cowboy eliminates FrOsTy. The push is definitely over. Oh no, Farah getting dangerously close down to Slowpoke right there. He still gets away though. They're actually managing to push the cart back. Push hasn't ended. They're staying in it. Flirty eliminating Slowpoke. They get the res onto Ablindswan. Put your wings back on. Get back in the sky. Gecko's shield almost gets broken. Drew charges in. Misses. Gecko tries to countercharge. Misses. But he gets back with his team. So that charge for missing post. Wow, I'm getting scramble brained here, Thunder. This match, this push alone is insane. Gravitic Flux finding 3, slamming them down. The bubble too early from FrOsTy. Not enough to really protect anything. Drew gets taken down. Not really gonna have any help there from his healers as they're 2 single target healers. DatGood takes down Wildwolf, but Gecko falls in the process. So 07, they're still in this fight. They're still able to push back. There's Slowpoke, Kittycatpaw, DatGood putting in the work. They're finally gonna stop the push.
And let's point out that ImNotDatGood single-handedly cleaned up the Pharmacy. The Lucio being the counter to Pharmacy. Who doesn't love to see that?
As a Lucio man, I know I do.
Well, overall, both teams getting a lot of ults up now again. The Sig ult was big, and they managed to capitalize on it. But now, as the resets are coming through, it's pretty much going to be interesting to see how they're going to make those ults work. Because overall, it's been 07 Dubnium, which is pretty much doing a big work.
Oh, Keeg stepping in front of Gecko's shield, gets hit by that Earth Shatter, pinned into the wall. But DatGood's sound barrier is fast enough to keep everybody up, even through the anti-grenade. But with the grab and barrage combo coming through separately, not together, immediately afterwards, that's going to be enough to give Post University the push into point B and an extra 2 minutes on the time bank. Or a minute and a half, rather.
Am I wrong? Or did Deadly just shatter and is already back up at 90?
No, you're right.
I feel like he just shattered and he's already back at 1.
He is, in fact, already back up to a shatter. And he finds a big one! Oh, and the bubble from FrOsTy prevents him from being counter-shattered, so he does get in. Get it, help in elimination, but Slowpoke takes him down. The immortality field is absolutely big. The attack visor from Flirty, not going to find any eliminations, but a good zoning ult backs the team out. Slowpoke's Deadeye coming out, fires out, but the bubble from FrOsTy is a little too quick, keeps his team up. DatGood gets slept. Apparently he's not that good at staying awake in the middle of a fight, and then he gets eliminated. Post University is going to begin to push back in, and now that they've got Ablindswan back in the mix, Gecko, oh, he finds DeadlyDrew with that big charge, but not enough to secure elimination. He goes back in again, and he finds Gecko, and this time he does take him down as the Gravitic Flux comes through. Doesn't find any eliminations, though. DeadlyDrew loses his life. These teams even at a 4-4 fight, and they are going to be pushing back. 07 Dub now have the defender spawn in their advantage, so they're going to do everything that they can to push back and hold on to this capture point. Here comes Gecko coming back from the spawn, charging in. Doesn't hit anyone, but Kittycatpaw falls, so now Post University might be trying to push back in. A big fire strike goes through, finds Wildwolf, almost takes him down, but he gets healed back up. The grab finds 3. Immortality Matrix comes down, but the charge is enough to take Keeg out. They get that elimination. Damage, kills, rolling through. Wildwolf undoing the only pick that Kittycatpaw was able to get. Super with another window. Attack visor comes out from Kittycatpaw, and it was unneeded, unnecessary. Not really going to get any value as the cart moves in. 2 minutes, 12 seconds left for Post University. What a push!
As somebody who plays both tank and DPS, I just think Deadly is having the time of his life. He's going in there, he just charges in, like, he doesn't have any regards for his own safety. He just charges, he's like, as long as I get 1, it's okay. And he does that constantly.
Forgive my memory, but there was an interview with one of the Reinhardt players in Overwatch League a couple of seasons ago, and they had said the secret to playing Reinhardt is short charges. You know, charge, hit a wall immediately. You don't want to be taking distance charges. DeadlyDrew is having the time of his life. Absolutely, you are correct in that exact sentiment. He's taking the longest charges I've ever seen. He's taking these things to the maximum, and not only is he not getting punished for it, but he's getting rewarded for it because he's securing these eliminations and then making it back to his team.
I mean, overall, he's been hitting those charges, and they were good charges, onto the Rhine mostly, enabling them to pretty much... They play the Sigma, so they still have the barrier up. But 6 barrier isn't as sustainable as the one of the Rhine. So the second the Rhine is gone, the damage coming out from the side of Post here is just doing so much work on their tanks. And it's just interesting to see Deadly is just... He doesn't have any regards for his own life. He just wants to go in, and he does that, and he manages to get that somehow to work.
He just wants to go in and swing the hammer, and by God, he does it. Keeg almost got demeched at the beginning of that fight thanks to that Discord, but he does manage to get out with his life, gets healed up thanks to that Lucio Baptiste combo, so a lot of ultimate charge for the supports of 07. They're now rotating around, taking the high ground, the Rhine Diva being a pretty good combo at protecting the rest of the team. I want you to pay attention to where Mydudesa is positioned. He's under the members of 07 Dub, so they won't be able to take him out, and even though he's isolated, so now dropping down, he's behind them. He's able to hit a big anti-grenade if he wants to, but DeadlyDrew falls, so he's not really going to have any value whether he hits that anti-grenade or not. DatGood takes down FrOsTy, and with Ablindswan falling, it's just a trickle effect from there. They do fight back, eliminate the Cowboy Slowpoke, but they get revenge for it immediately after. Dude's A claustrophobically caught in the hotel, comes out to point, doesn't touch it, dies.
Well, this is pretty much a very good example of how positioning can win you a fight. They rotate around the back, they get themselves to a position where they can easily just scout at everybody, and from that point on, they're pretty much just doing free damage into them. The Rhine doesn't really have any support as they play the Hog, so Deadly is pretty much in a lot of trouble the second his shield goes down, and as he doesn't actually is able to get to any cover anymore, he just gets punished and instantly bursted down.
Yeah, wait, I mean, a Roadhog, a devastating tank. Definitely somebody that you want to be scared of, but not the best synergy with a Roadhog. Oh, that hook was 10 miles long, managed to catch Kittycatpaw, but he gets out alive. They do lose Keeg's mech in the process, though. They're going to push in hard with that is post-university because they know there's no diva. There's nothing that can deny any of their ultimates. Look at that. The DPS of 07 fall immediately. They nano Drew just to make sure that he can get in, put some damage in. A double kill with that single charge onto DatGood and Gecko, and a team kill. They're going to stop the card about halfway on point B.
And it's again, FrOsTy is doing a very unique approach to the game. He really isn't playing together with the team. He's more on the sidelines, looking for an opportunity to find somebody to pick off. And as he manages to do that, there's always this 5v6 fight scenario where they have to watch out for what they're going for.
Deadeye coming out from Slowpoke. He finds DeadlyDrew. As Drew drops the shatters, he's going to want that back. Tack Visor coming out from Flirty is countered by DatGood's sound barrier, and they also take him down in the process. FrOsTy is trying to run away, but Hog can only move so fast with all that extra meat. And now, oh no, Mydudesa is caught out of position in the backline. He's going to move forward and try to just eat the time bank and slow the card as much as he can. Ring around the rosy, Anna's pushing up daisies, but it gave Post University the time that they need to push back. They are going to be able to re-engage, but when they lose, Wildwolf getting booped off the map, nope, they're done. That window is going to secure the point B, and 07 having a wonderful time bank moving into capture point C.
And we're looking at pretty much double the time currently. If they can make this work as well as they currently are doing it, oh, that's not good.
That's not good. You are correct. DatGood getting caught out by that Roadhog, getting hooked and pulled in, taken down. Oh no, Keeks using his boosters, gets caught by the hook, so he just gets tossed over the edge. Riptire coming in from Ablindswan. He's sending that very far. Doesn't get an elimination with it, but he weakens up Slowpoke to let FrOsTy finish it out with the whole hog. Flirty eliminating DatGood, so now 07's going to be going back into spawn. A lot of ultimates committed there, though, from Post University.
But they're gonna keep the trance, so trance is gonna be available as well as soon as the nano there, which pretty much I think this is going to go to a nano Rhine again with a pretty aggressive push right there. But as they don't really have that much sustain with the Lucio.
Oh no, the self-destruct gets thrown in from Keeg. DeadlyDrew doesn't turn around to block it for himself, so he gets taken out. That opens the door for Kittycatpaw's Tack Visor. He's got nothing to stop him. He's just going to run in and dance through the team. FrOsTy is trying valiantly to dance around it, throws a hook and falls. There's nothing left. Now they're going to be pushing in the cart quite handedly. 3 on cart, maximum speed, a full flying speed of 3 miles an hour. The nano DeadlyDrew charges in again, and he catches Kittycatpaw. The immortality field is a little too late. Slowpoke's Deadeye comes out, and it answers with Super Mat's Amplification Matrix, neither of which are really doing any value. Flirty is throwing out the Tactical Visor, rather, but Keeg is going to eat up the damage. He loses his life from Super Mat. FrOsTy now going up high, trying to contest the card as much as he can. Drew charging in, doesn't find any value. His Earth Shatter only manages to find the Lucio, who just gets right back up. And the cart's going to be pushed in. A 25-second difference for 07.
The minute pretty much proves what I was saying. Both teams are very equally matched. They both pretty much 25 seconds is not that much. It's one fight. The question is going to be, how will they use that one fight? This is going to be the point where if they get held for 2 minutes and they can make the one fight with all their ults work, this is going to be the point where they're going to have to look out for what's going to happen. Because if you're sitting there on both sides of the teams, you pretty much realize by now that both teams are rather equal, and you should probably try to get Deadly to stop charging so much, as pretty much he got nanoed the previous fight and went all the way into the back. But yes, he finds the soldier, he finds Kitty Cat, but gets punished for it. And the main tank, as a trade for a soldier, I'd keep the Rhine over the soldier any day.
Yeah, not always an even trade. They could have made it work, but 9 out of 10 times you don't make that work. So now if I'm post-university, that's my job. All you got to do is rein in Drew. You've had amazing pushes. You had wonderful defenses, even if you lost a lot of cart progress. All you got to do is rein in Drew, keep him up. Fights won in your favor. 07, they don't need to change anything. They need to keep baiting Drew into these charges. If they can do that, win conditions already set, and it's looking like it's going to be favoring 07. Post wrapping around the statue, trying to move in, get a little bit of a poke damage here. They're running the Rhine Zarya, so that tells me that they're either going to try to have support for Drew or try to rein him in. Either way, they're looking at a little bit more viable win condition. So now, with Kittycatpaw falling, they have a window of opportunity to move in here. DatGood going down, they only have Supermat. There's another charge from DeadlyDrew. Guess what? They're getting punished for it. That's DeadlyDrew. And now, the progress is ticking up. You have permanent progress, but again, like you said, I want the main tank back. I want to be able to hold on to these fights. And yeah, you find Kittycatpaw, you find Gecko, but you lose FrOsTy. I mean, what can you really do here? You're soft resetting, trying your best to hold on to the point. 07 is just kind of trickling in. They don't need to win. They just need you to lose your time bank, and they're doing a tremendous job of that. The amplification matrix amplifying the damage. The tac visor coming out from Flirty now. He gets nanoed. They do manage to demat Keeg. A lot of damage coming out from that. The barrage landing on the DPS line. An Earth Shatter takes down Flirty though, and then Gecko is going to charge in and take down FrOsTy. He finds that hammer elimination onto Mydudesa, and the permanent progress hasn't really ticked up any further than it was a second ago. Gecko putting in the work, showing that he's not a Reinhardt to be trifled with. But he does not block the Shatter, and that's going to cost them big. The Immortality Field comes down to protect Gecko and Matt. There's only so much it can do though. They do get more permanent progress. 2 ticks on the counter. Gecko finally falls, and it looks like they might be able to capture the cart. They do. 8 seconds remaining, so we are going to hit overtime. They're going to need a body on cart at all times.
And you have to give credit there to Deadly, as Deadly pretty much shatters the second Gecko goes for the Fire Strike. And you maybe know, during the short time the Fire Strike animation goes through, you can't block as you can't raise your shield. So Deadly was playing that very well with that shatter.
A tremendous read and insane reflexes to be able to time that as well as he did. Payload through the choke point and approaching the bookstore, rather. Bell's bookstore. Wonderful bookstore. High Noon coming out from Slowpoke. He finds Wildwolf out of the sky. Can't res yourself. The charge from DeadlyDrew is denied from the flashbang. The grab is getting countered out by the sound barrier, so the amplification matrix comes out to put some extra damage. The shatter from DeadlyDrew doesn't find anything. Gecko manages to put a lot of damage out with that shatter. And with only 50 meters, that's not that great of a push. 07's win condition is set and very well within reach.
3-4.
Exactly. Well, overall, they did the right thing. They went in, they stacked their ults, and they pretty much full-on went with all their ults at once to go into that fight. The graph comes through from one side, but it doesn't matter too much as pretty much somebody already dies there. I'm not sure who died first during that fight, but the beat comes through and the Mercy died first. So that's going to be the Pharaoh with less value because there's no damage boost left alive. And you're going to be sitting there with, I'm not that good having the beat available. So the graph comes through and gets instantly countered because the beat comes through in an instant. And Deadly has the problem. He tries to push, but he doesn't really have those big amount of heals. So he gets pushed into the side room there, which is, what is it called? Let's see. The bookshop. Moriarty's Fine Books. Gets pushed in there and gets pretty much focused down in an instant as pretty much Gecko just follows him in and finds him there.
And those are indeed some fine books. A shame that they have to see such violence between the Reinhardts. A travesty, really. Go to your local library, kids. Make sure you read. And as these doors open, however, let's get ready for some more gratuitous violence here on King's Row. We finally seeing a Widowmaker coming out from Kittycatpaw, probably looking for a cheeky pick. He might be pulling a swap as soon as he drops back down to the spawn room that he is, going on to the double hit scan with Cowboy Soldier. 07 pushing onto the point rather aggressively, putting out a lot of damage, which Reinhardt shield is going to give out first. DeadlyDrew rotating over into the hotel. Gecko looks like he's baiting him. They bait out Mydudesa's Immortality Field first, but it's Slowpoke who goes down first. So now 07 using their own Immortality Field, it gets taken down. But Post University's not stepping on the point. There goes DeadlyDrew charging on. And guess what, Drew? If it doesn't work the first 3 times, try it again. That's the definition of insanity. He gets taken down. Flirty gets taken down. 07 is going to capture the cart with an amazing time bank of 1.5 minutes.
Objective A.
And again, same issue as previously. You sit there, you bait DeadlyDrew into for the charge, he does it and gets punished in an instant. And now it's just Drew left alive actually to try to go for the contest, because they're gonna have to reset. They're probably only gonna get 1 more fight. Or Drew, don't go in yet.
Whatever you do, Drew, do not hit shift. Somebody unbind this man's shift key, take it off of his keyboard. Amplification Matrix comes through for Supermat, and that is discouraging him. He charges in, and there it is! He gets taken down by the rockets! Double tack visor being thrown out from both teams. Which one's going to find a little more value? Amplification Matrix coming out from Mydudesa. What a nasty shatter from Gecko is going to lay out the entirety of Post University. 07 Dubnium rolling across Post University. And then the gravitic flux as the period at the end of the sentence, right in front of Moriarty's fine books. 07 Dubnium picks up their lead 2-0.
Very, very well played by them. We have to say it because currently it's the win condition for them is nothing else except baiting Drew in. Because the second the main tank is gone, they have so much free time to work with to just pepper down the remaining shield and focus on the targets they can see. As Drew charges, he gets punished for them. It worked out during the attack, but at the same time, it worked during the first attack because they went into the aggressive point. But same time, after they realized that he's charging aggressively, and they punished him for it. So they pretty much just went with it, and it worked out. I think Drew was the first one to die pretty much every fight, which isn't what you want from your main
That
tank.
is not what you want from your main tank, especially when you're running your main tank as a Reinhardt. You don't need a degree in rocket science to know that Reinhardt is basically a win condition on King's Row. He survives, that fight's yours. He dies, that fight's theirs. I don't... 07 having an amazing quality of game sense to be able to understand, oh, we can just make Drew hit shift and win the fight. Right there. It doesn't matter who they lose in the process. If Drew falls, that's it. And they're reading that very well. So Post, they have to rein Drew in. They have to either support him even better with some more long range heals, maybe even, I don't know, the Mercy following him, and Ana and a Zenyatta put the orb on him and then just throw some Ana healing darts in him. Something to that degree to help keep him up. If they can do that, they have what they need to turn this around. Because when he does get in there with those charges, when he does get to swing his hammer freely, he is devastating. He will rend your team asunder with the amount of damage that he can cleave through. So 07, I mean, just to say it again, their win conditions set. They know what they need to do. It's just keep doing what you're doing.
Pretty much. So this is going to be the 2-1 score-wise. So this is potentially the last map, depending on how this goes. And they have to make it work. Junkertown, not really a prominent map for Ryan. But we have seen Post University pretty much focus on that brawl style of comp. They've pretty much played the Ryan all the time, really. So it's going to be interesting to see if they want to swap something up, because I think as one of the coaches is actually in here inside the lobby watching this, they're probably on the Discord together. I'd say, I'm not sure if it's actually allowed inside the rules or not, but he's probably going to be telling him, don't do this. Stop charging.
Drew, can I see you in my office after this match? Yes, after this match. Yes, it's about your keyboard and your shift key. Thank you.
Well,
Guaranteed
I
that's
don't.
how that conversation's going. Clip it. You know it's happening, chat.
Well, I mean, if you look into chat currently, I don't. Well, it's just the coach himself saying we need 1 second to ready up. So I guess the coach is going to be sitting there, like you said.
Might actually
Drew,
be
come to
might
the
actually be
office.
talking to it a little bit. It might be planning maybe some swaps, maybe just trying to hammer out their strategy. So we'll give them the little bit of time that they need. We need to talk about Flirty. We have not been giving Flirty the attention that he deserves. His Soldier 76 has been instrumental in securing the team fight victories, if not the map victories as a whole. He's been getting tactical visors blisteringly fast. His heal pad is phenomenal. He's doing a wonderful job of supporting his healers and keeping himself and Blind Swan up, as well as that extra bit of healing to keep the healers up. And all that healing that he's doing is feeding back into his ult charge. And even when he doesn't have his tac visor, guess what? He's still hitting shots. Those pulse rifle bullets hitting their marks, those helix rockets hitting their marks. He is doing everything that he needs to be doing as a soldier. And even better, he's doing it playing with the team, which is not something you expect to see out of a Soldier 76. That is a very self-sufficient hero. He's meant to go on the off angles, to split the team's attention. And he's just over there like, yeah, I'm with my homies. What are you going to do? You're done. You're done. You're done. He's doing a
No,
tremendous job of synergizing with Post University, and it's inspiring really to witness what he could pull off when he's on the Soldier.
well, you gotta kiss the homies goodnight.
You always
Well,
got to kiss the homies goodnight. Tuck them in, give them some hot chocolate. And Flirty is there with the heated, weighted blanket. They're having a good night's sleep.
exactly. Well, overall, you have to give credit to most of them because Flirty's been doing a very substantial job on the soldier, but at the same time, Kittycatpaw, you can't underestimate that Hanzo. That Hanzo has been getting so much value. We've seen it in Anubis, where alone there were like 4 picks coming through, countering the Farm Mercy constantly. And it's been very close so far. I mean, now currently, yeah, well, King's Row seems like DeadlyDrew as a main tank player enjoys King's Row very much, but probably you got overconfident with those charges. But if he stops those charges, I think this would have gone completely different. The server closed due to an unexpected error. Well, never mind.
We had a ready up and then we had a wait. So we're going to wait up a little more. It seems like there might have been a technical issue on one of the sides. We're going to try and get that resolved. And the supports. The support line on both teams, like that good. I don't think I saw a single grav come out from FrOsTy that was not countered by that good sound barriers.
That is true. That is true. I think technically, wait, let me check this real quick. Because I think there's a maintenance pretty soon, which is the 7th. Well, never mind, that's already done, at least in my time. But we seem to be having some issues on the side of them. So we're gonna have who was it? Mydudesa is not gonna be able to play this. So we're actually gonna have the coach step in.
Yeah, Denny subbing in for Mydudesa on the side of Post University. An interesting development. Definitely, I don't think it's anything 07 would have been prepared for. So it could be a boon in favor of Post University as a pretty functional mind game. Like, hey, you don't know what you're doing because we don't know what we're doing. And there you go. It's a large portion of this game is getting in the head of your opponents, forcing your opponents to make mistakes. And it's very easy to force them to make mistakes if they don't know what to expect from you. Having a substitution like this, throwing in the coach. I mean, looking at this from my point of view, I'm shocked as all can you imagine. So what's 07 thinking as they look at this? No one really can.
I'm thinking there's a difference. I'm thinking Denny's had enough of Drew charging, so he wants to play himself to be able to scream at him, not charging to it.
Possibility. We'll figure that out later on. And for those Pokemon nerds in chat, don't worry, I asked. Slowpoke is the original variation of the dual water psychic type. So lots of fun there. Original Pokemon Red, Blue, rise up! Sorry, I love Pokemon.
Well, who doesn't? who doesn't have played Pokemon like at least once
You're
in their
right.
lifetime?
You're right. I'll tell you who, the people who are growing up on games like Fortnite and Overwatch. But you know what? We can forgive the ones growing up on Overwatch because this game is just wonderful. Fortnite, I don't know. Had some funny dances come out of it. We'll give it that.
I have to say, this is gonna be very critical input. I've played Fortnite during like the first 1 or 2 seasons before it was popular, and during that time it was very fun. It was very enjoyable to play, but once it got that hype, it wasn't. It changed.
Attackers
It
Lots of
changed.
stuff came in that wasn't really enjoyable anymore, and after that point, I have to say it wasn't enjoyable for me anymore. I guess they really went with the route like we wanna appease the little kids, we wanna be able to give some emotes, some stuff out. Mom, get your credit card. I need V-Bucks.
I need V-Bucks. Hey, but if you enjoy it, if that's your thing, you know what? Don't let us put you down. You enjoy what you
Exactly.
enjoy. Love you, homies. Kiss them goodnight. The doors to Junkertown are opening, and we are seeing a pirate ship get up coming out on the side of Post, and Ablindswan getting picked out of the sky immediately. Slowpoke with the quick draw. Didn't know Slowpoke could learn agility, folks, but there it is. Flirty now setting up on the payload pirate ship mode engage. The Orisa Reinhardt combo doing a wonderful job of protecting him. Fire Strike rolling through onto ImNotDatGood, so that's a healer down on the side of 07 Dubnium. Payload is just moving along. There's not a lot you can do when you've got 2 shields protecting a Bastion, and now he's taking down Slowpoke, but Gecko removes Denny from the fight, so there's no res if they do manage to break up the pirate ship. But the members of 07 Dub are just continuing to fall. If it's not the Bastion, it's the Pharah, and relatively uncontested. The payload has almost made it to the first capture point. Keeg's doing what he can. He steps in, kinetic grasp, accretion, nothing is going to work. The payload has already reached point A.
And I mean, what would you expect? I wouldn't expect a Bastion to come out, and so didn't they. And I'm not sure if they want to keep this tank line rolling, because a ball sick is not gonna be the most value against a Bastion. Which you're gonna see here in a second.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there it
Gecko
is.
gets pulled.
Gecko pulled, taken down immediately. You want to use a Wrecking Ball on compositions that you can disrupt. Well, guess what? You can't disrupt a Bastion because you can't move him. Unless you throw a big old boulder in his face like Keegs just did. That accretion hits hard. However, it's not enough to prevent the eliminations from rolling through. Flirty gets taken down by Kittycatpaw, and Denny puts him right back up. Mercy's also a mechanic. You heard it here, folks. Cannon confirmed.
I want to say, rest in peace, Charger. Placed in front of the cart, just rolled over. We have FrOsTy using the Charger there to just clean up the fight 100%, but he puts us in front of the cart instead of onto the cart. So the second the cart starts rolling, Charger just gets rolled over. And that's just a rip from my side.
There's the Dragon Strike right onto Flirty. He does get out though with the help of that Immortality Field. Gecko comes in with a big charge, taking out DeadlyDrew. Flirty's tank configuration denied by keegsmonswag. Supermat gets taken out by Ablindswan, so they are still mounting back defense, but the arrow finds him in the sky and eliminates him, so they are going to send Post into a retreat. Denny's Valkyrie keeping the remaining members alive as they get on the retreat. Flirty is going to stay with the Bastion, so they are going to try and get this pirate ship set back up again.
Well, I'm not too sure if this is actually a good idea, except they want to go for high ground control. If they want to control the high ground of the Bastion, they're going to get a lot of value from it.
It might have an easier time controlling high ground with the Hanzo out of the equation. Earthshatter lays out 3. He manages to take out keegsmonswag, but gets charged out by Gecko. We can't really attribute that to what Drew's normally been doing. Massive Earthshatter from Gecko, though, eliminates Denny. So now they're going to be advancing on that Bastion as hard as they can. They split off. The Lucio chasing down the Bastion. It's a bold strategy, Thunder. Let's see if it pays off for him. Gecko squaring up against the Baptiste and the Orisa. And I'm not that good, showing he is indeed that good. A Lucio taking down the Bastion. Gecko now trying to put in a lot more cleave damage with that Rocket Hammer. Kittycatpaw jumping into the backline does get an elimination onto Wildwolf, and they get the stagger pick onto FrOsTy. They're still getting a little bit of advancement here, pushing in as hard as they can. Ablindswan staggering in, and then it's not long before Denny falls right behind him. The pharmacy is down, closed for business. It's a national holiday. And now, finally, we're seeing some swaps come through on Post University.
Well, they seem to wanna earn their takeaway, as they're not letting them pass the takeaway station on the right there, which actually has some very delicious looking food on it. They just want... Oh no, Drew goes to the charge again.
Drew! Drew, what did you do? We're gonna have to take you to Chargeaholics Anonymous as Gecko flattens the team with another Earth Shatter. Immortality Field taken down. They flashbang the res, so Denny gets that denied, and he loses Valkyrie in the process. A big stagger onto FrOsTy. Goes down right in front of his spawn room. And 07 holding strong on this point B.
After the second they swapped off the Bastion, they now, as they're playing the double shield themselves, they're getting so much value from just controlling the high ground. Especially because now the Bastion is not that danger anymore, because they were just set them on card, and the second they lost the card, they've not been able to get any more value since.
This is not your time.
Well, they lose Ablindswan, but pick him right back up, put him back in the fight. Halt Orb thrown up from FrOsTy, doesn't find anything. Flirty and Denny going around onto the low ground with Wildwolf. The Orisa Charger comes out, but an Amplification Matrix is dropped right on top of it. That good sound barrier is going to give everyone the shielding they need to stay in the fight, as Slowpoke's Deadeye takes down Wildwolf and denies any utility from his Amplification Matrix. And once again, FrOsTy will fall in front of his spawn room.
This has went from a super dominant looking pirate ship straight to just in shambles. They're trying their best to just keep on control, getting the fights, trying to control the high ground, but they're not managing to actually do that.
They are pushing in with a bit more of an established composition with the Ryan Zarya. A quadruple kill from that Riptire! Ablindswan showing he does indeed have eyes, and he will use them to wipe your team.
Well,
Because he's
what
not
to say?
blind. He's not blind. He's got eyes.
he isn't, no?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's actually giant.
It is going to be enough to secure point B, unless Keegs has anything to say with this Gravitic Flux. Kittycatpaw loses the Tag Visor, so Flirty's going to answer with his own after losing 2-3 of his team members. Dangerously close to being eliminated, and there it is, they find it. They res Wildwolf, but that's not something that they're going to want to have actually gone through. That's just some extra ult charge they fed in, and there it is. Round 1 complete, just shy of point B.
Score 0-1. Switching sides.
1-2 test, can you hear me?
Yes, we still hear you,
Okay.
Thunder. It appears you were
Okay, no,
disconnected
my
from the game.
My router just restarted, so it just went real quickly, like, bye-bye. So I'm gonna need a quick invite to the lobby again, please, if that's possible.
Yeah, we can make that happen. We'll do it before these doors open. Chat, close your eyes. You don't want to see what's happening here. I can't seem to find you. There it is.
Well, thank you very much for the invite, and on that note, I'm gonna go straight back into the game. So I missed what happened at the final seconds there, but I guess they were able to pretty much hold that very well. So they probably just... Well, how to say
They
this?
held on. They held on
They just
quite
had
well.
the high ground control. They had the high ground control and just pretty much did all the work from the high ground and just denied any space, really.
Absolutely. Showing an amazing display of synergy. They just refuse to let Post University ever get fully grouped up in a 6-man group up. And the only time they were able to actually pull that off, it took Ablindswan throwing in a Riptire and eliminating 2/3 of the team. So if 07 can just have another dominant display of control like that again, we might be seeing the end of the series here on Junkertown.
That could be the case. And overall, oh, never mind.
Another quick pick from Slowpoke. Man, change your name to Fastpoke, my good sir. The speed in which he is hitting these shots is amazing. Flirty does get rezzed by Denny, but then he immediately goes back down Slowpoke. That's bullying. You can't do that.
And
That's
the bullying
4.
continues.
It just
Everybody
continues.
just gets wiped.
They're going to continue to push that cart forward. And pretty much uncontested with Slowpoke, just as Money Shot Prophet of Soul Dynasty once said, just click on heads. And that is in fact what
Exactly.
Slowpoke is doing. Oh, and an early pick onto Ablindswan is going to open the door for Gecko to move in. He does get hooked, but he gets the elimination onto FrOsTy. Denny rests Flirty again, and again he's immediately taken out with a headshot, this time courtesy of Kittycatpaw. DeadlyDrew diving in, still using his shift key incorrectly. This time it's with a Winston instead of a Reinhardt. And much like the post-university before them, they reach point A relatively uncontested.
And again, like I said previously, you have to watch out for Kitty. Kitty's hitting headshot after headshot after headshot currently. And again, Flirty gets staggered very, very soon as the headshot just hits again. Flirty hasn't been allowed to play the game.
No, they're denying Flirty all playtime that they can't. Gecko missing a pile driver right there, goes back in, trying to catch Denny out of position, but the peel from the tanks is there to send him running. Ablindswan, however, gets taken out by Slowpoke, so now 07 once again up 6v5. Gecko diving into the backline, but again the tank peel is too strong for the Ana. The Valkyrie comes out from DatGood, a mass heal, mass damage burst coming out. Slowpoke clicking on some more heads, Dragon Strike comes out, FrOsTy tries to eat it, but he does not react fast enough, he's a little too far away. Supermat eliminating DeadlyDrew, and as Flirty goes down, they finally put some pressure on the Widowmaker, but the cart is dangerously close to touching that yellow box of freedom, that yellow box of victory, as Supermat throws out the Transcendence. Might be a little unnecessary there, but it does get a lot of healing out, so the team are able to use that to continue to push in. It's probably just to counter out that Valkyrie from Denny. Gecko throwing a minefield deep in the back line, forcing Post University to go the long way to get back to the point. Self-destruct and Gravitic Flux coming out. Flirty's attack bites are coming out. The self-destruct does find Keegs, but Slowpoke and Kittycat, the sniper, the double sniper from 07 is just too much for Post University to handle. Another big pile driver from Gecko sets up the DMAC and subsequent elimination onto FrOsTy. And with that, the payload is going to creep in. Oh, nope. We do have a quick recontest from Ablindswan, but it's not going to last long enough. 07 Dubnium is going to take your victory 3-1 over Post University.
And that was very, very well played. Not going to lie, that sniper duo of Slowpoke and Kitty is just...
And this tire... Oh man, Supermat was not quite quick enough with that immortality field, and he realized it too as he just stood still and let what was coming happen. A valiant effort from Post University, but in the end, 07 Dubnium proving to be just too much, and they will be your victors tonight. We are going to send it to a quick break while we get our post-match interview set up, so make sure you stick with us. Don't go anywhere. We've got an interview with one of the members of the winning team right after this. Welcome back, everybody. We have here with us Kittycatpaw, the DPS of 07 Dubnium. Kitty, welcome. Thank you for your time and congratulations on your victory. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling good. I feel like I played well, even though it's been like 5 days since I've played the game.
5 days since you played the game. That's what you call rust? I miss playing one day, and I'm just like, well, back to bronze I go. Now, I want to talk about your Hanzo play throughout this series. I don't think I have ever seen an archer throw so many arrows into the head of the opposing team. You were nailing headshots at a consistency that I could only dream of. How did that feel to know that you were just absolutely paving the way for O7's tanks to move in and take the space that you were creating?
It felt good. Uh, it's a bit of luck, honestly. Some of them were just me spamming just down mid, but some of it were calculated. But I
mean,
won't
if it
say which
works,
is
it
which.
works. If it works, it works, right?
Yep.
Well, I mean, who do you think out of your team got like the most value which you could work with? Was that like the comps maybe, which was working out? Somebody you want to give a shout out to?
I think I'll give a shout out to M because I know he really played well on the last two maps, on his Lucio on Kings Row and his Mercy on Junkertown. He's very vocal in comms. He's the one all tracking and all that stuff.
Well, makes sense. Of course, it's a crucial position to the team, so you gotta have somebody like that in a competitive team. So it's nice to see some love for the other people as well. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's it for me pretty much.
Now, I have to ask, the one-man defense that was Slowpoke on Temple of Anubis, what was going through everyone's minds when you all fell and he managed to essentially guarantee you a hold and bought you the time you needed to get back to that point? What were the comms like when that happened?
It was just pure chaos. Just people screaming like, "Slow, slow! He's doing it!" It was just like he himself that he didn't believe it, that he actually got it. It was just astonishment from everyone.
Oh
It
man,
was
I was a spectacle to behold. We see a little bit
yeah.
of love for Slowpoke in the team chat. Slow, we would have loved to have had you in here, but you left the lobby too quick, my guy. You gotta stick
Yeah,
around for stuff
exactly.
like this.
It
Yeah.
is your own fault, not ours.
Don't worry though, you've earned yourself a new nickname after this match, Slow. You are the one-man wall for sure. Well, that's all that we have here. Kitty Cat, thank you for your time. Congrats again on your win. Go celebrate with the team. Have yourself a good time.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for
Gotta kiss
having me
the
on.
homies goodnight.
Thunder's still on that.
Yeah, you gotta be. Especially after they performed so well together as a unit.
They did, absolutely. That's going to do it for us here in this week 4 matchup between O7 Dubnium and Post University in the Peachimari's hosted Overwatch tournament. I am BranbleBush. I've been joined here with me by Thunderstorm AT. Thank you for sticking with us. Be sure to hit that follow button so you can be warned when all future matches come up, and we will see you on the next one.
See you guys. Have a nice one.